now to have some fun with mine, the QB battle between the likes of Jason Bean, Riley Leonard, I kid, Daniel Jones, and Anthony Richardson being the primary two combatants here. And this is one that I think we all agree has a lot of fantasy relevance because if you like, from a quarterback having fantasy relevance, we've seen that with Richardson be very, very relevant. And to be fair, we've seen that a few years ago with Daniel Jones as well. Let's not, be too crazy here. But for the receivers, myself included, being the Richardson, not quite defender, but wanter to be the starter on this show, it's no question the receivers are far more relevant with Daniel Jones. So this is one that I think is a pretty clear and cut case on who is more relevant in what situation. But I want to pass it to you guys. Like, what do you guys?
I'll jump in real quick on this one. Adam, as your new Colt defender, since Adam doesn't do it anymore, look, the only person that really matters, it matters in twofold to me. It matters to people about Dynasty, what happens with Daniel Jones. Can he actually be a tangible starter in this league, a guy you want to have on your Dynasty roster? We see if he uses his legs, he can be something. As for the receivers, I think it more affects their immediate skills or immediate impact this year. And the skill set is more what I look at. Which skill set will be utilized, but more? Will it be the guys like a Pierce and a Mitchell? If you have, stocks of them on your dynasty teams, you want Richardson to be a quarterback because we didn't see Danny Dimes be very good down the field. It's about feeding receivers. I saw neighbors get pissed off because you can get the ball. Daniel Jones could get the ball. So I don't necessarily think the receivers are going to be thrown with any guy. It's just once we get in the ball. But I think we will see is the guys who are closer to the inside, the Josh Downs or the closer receivers, they might benefit from Daniel Jones more so. The guy who doesn't change, I think, for either one is Warren. He's still going to be utilized regardless who the quarterback is. But I think mostly for me, this impacts Daniel Jones is mostly dynasty value. Even for Richardson, he's 23 years old, guys. Like, if he doesn't work out here, so what? He could move on to another team. He still has plenty of opportunities. There's going to be plenty of teams that will be interested in Anthony Richardson and making him a reclamation project down the road. We've seen other guys like Justin Fields get chances. We've seen Baker Mayfield get chances. We've seen Dan Darnold get chances. So Anthony Richardson, who has a lot of skill set and has a lot of things that people are kind of, quick to forget now that they did like him originally about, he still has a gun. He still is a big dude. And he did work on his craft this offseason. I think you're going to see that. So for me, like I said, the more impact of this is what happens to Daniel Jones moving forward in the NFL dynasty owner.
Yeah, I think the key one you hit on there is, to me, just quickly, is Josh Downs. I think benefit quite a bit from Daniel Jones. But there is that other pendulum where your Alec Pierce's, your potentially Donnie Mitchell's, I think probably benefit a little bit more from Richardson. But go ahead, Dan.
No, I was going to say, this is definitely a big time battle that we're going to watch throughout the summertime. This definitely is going to matter for 2025. From taking a perspective from the Colts standpoint, like Chris of the Weapons, long term, I don't think you're looking at the future quarterback of the Colts either direction as far as that goes heading into next season. I don't think either one of these guys will be the starting quarterback in 2026. As far as their players, as their value in particular, yeah, you're right. Anthony Richardson, given his physical skill set, given his age, will probably be given at least the opportunity to see if he can turn around at some point again in his career. So he'll be worth stashing. If Daniel Jones can't give you anything this year, then I also agree with you. He's out. He's done. He's toast. He's fantasy graveyard. Goodbye. So hit on all those points. Now, I look at Richardson as a more athletic Trey Lance, where I don't think he winds up getting an opportunity to get himself either. He's just too far away from being able to be a competent quarterback that anybody's going to really trust. The one thing I'll give Fields at least is that he was able in situational to get better as far as being more conservative. We still got to see if Anthony Richardson can do at least that. And Fields is actually a better runner. Well, he's not as athletic, but he's a more efficient runner than Richardson is too. So I think that plays a big deal in giving him his second shot. So I don't know if he gets it. I'm focusing more here on the perspective from the Colts side of who's going to be the quarterback for the future. Is it on the roster? I don't think it is as far as 2026 is concerned. For this season, if I'm a wide receiver, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you throw the deep ball. I want it to be Daniel Jones. Look, we can talk all day about Alec Pierce and Donnie Mitchell. The fact is, whether it's Jones, whether it's Richardson, it's going to be best ball purposes only, nothing else. You're never going to trust them to be in your lineup. but I could trust Josh Downs. I could, to some degree, maybe even trust Michael Pittman as a lower end flex option if Jones is the one throwing the football versus Anthony Richardson there. I mean, let's not forget, Wan'Dale Robinson was a target monster for crying out loud with Daniel Jones.
But he didn't play him, Dan. That was my point. Like, people kept saying he was going to be a guy that they're going to utilize week in, week out, but you didn't see Daniel Jones feature him. You didn't see anybody.
We saw him feature Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is a top 12 wide receiver, but he's a top 12 wide receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson in the weeks Daniel Jones started was wide receiver 37. Like, he had flex weeks. You could play him. He wasn't that far off. He was doing better than the Colts receivers were. And Malik Neighbors, like I said, he was a top 12 guy. So he did feature guys. He did get guys fantasy relevant.
He played the week 10?
Yeah, he played a week 10. And for first 10 weeks, who did you want in your lineup? You wanted Malik Neighbors in your lineup. And Wan'Dale Robinson was actually a guy who was at the very least on rosters, if not a spot fill-in, with the volume that he was getting for those first 10 weeks.
And Donnie Mitchell didn't do anything last year. I'm not Donnie Mitchell, I'm sorry. Pierce didn't do anything last year that you would have in your lineups at some points.
He had a couple pop games, but did you know when to play him? Did you know when those pop? No, because they were so sporadic.
Pierce is a best ball play. He's a classic best ball play. I don't want him in Dynasty. I don't want him in redraft. Here's a couple things. First off, Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes turned 28 years old yesterday. Happy birthday, Daniel Dimes. I love you. We've seen him be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL in fantasy. Just 3 seasons ago, he was quarterback 9 overall. Daniel Jones was. Anthony Richardson. Listen, yeah. Is he an NFL caliber athlete? Heck yeah. Can he run the ball all over the place? Heck yeah. Is he gigantic? Heck yeah. Can he throw the ball from Lucas Oil Stadium completely over the Ohio River? Yeah, he probably can. But Daniel Jones is the only one of the two that is an NFL caliber passer, and he is barely at that. Okay. Yes, it had the dynasty relevance here is like actually threefold. One, yeah, does Daniel Jones continue to have any value going forward? I think this is his chance to prove that he can be a viable, useful quarterback in this league. I don't think he's ever going to prove himself to be a top 16 type quarterback in the NFL, but this is his chance to prove he's one of the top 32 and deserves a job somewhere. B, Anthony Richardson, this is your absolute last opportunity to prove that you can be a quarterback in the NFL, because I agree with Dan. If Richardson can't win this job, he does not throw the ball at an NFL caliber. He does at level. He just does not. So if all he's got is rushing ability, heck, you can find that elsewhere. You could snap the ball to Christian McCaffrey if you want.
What did Josh Allen do for the first 12 games of his career?
Josh Allen, though, got
for the first 12 games of his career, what did he do? Just answer
Allen,
that question, Timmy. Then, and that's all I want to know.
Josh Allen got better every single year, and his accuracy improved, which is a point I will also make for Mr. Justin Fields. Justin Fields' accuracy, his completion percentage has improved all 4 years of his career. Justin Fields has worked at the craft, and Justin Fields has proved that he deserves a shot at being an NFL starting quarterback because he's shown he can actually pass the ball at an NFL level. I still haven't seen
4 years older than Anthony Richardson.
I have not seen that from Anthony Richardson. And part of it is because Anthony Richardson can't keep his broke ass off the field half the time. So if he can stay healthy and if he can show any kind of improvement pass-wise, okay, then he can maybe prove that he deserves to be on your roster. Pisses me off because I took him first overall too a couple years ago in 1 or 2 dynasty leagues. I was hoping for the rushing upside too. But if that's all he's offering anybody, including the Colts, is rushing upside, it ain't that kind of league anymore, friends. And he's got to be able to throw the football. So